awareness that we are spiritual beings in different ways, through lectures, through workshops, through talks, through classes, through meditations and retreats, facilitate the growth of this awareness that we are spiritual beings, not just physical beings. And those who have interest to go deeper and explore more what is the whole spiritual dimension and what exists more than just what we can see with our physical eyes. And the knowledge combines a technique of meditation, which we call the practice of remembrance, remembering that you are a soul. And the meditation facilitates or brings us to a deeper experience of our innate nature of peace, our innate nature of happiness, emphasizing, underlining the, how to say this, the shift in awareness. We generally live in this awareness that we are bodily beings, that we are humans, that we are male or female, or that we are belonging to certain ethnical groups or some culture. This is what we call the bodily consciousness. And the meditation has the aim to shift us, make us get a taste, and deepen our awareness as non-physical, spiritual beings who use this body as a vehicle temporarily. So what we offer is a combination of spiritual wisdom and these practices of meditation. And you could say, so why should I do that? Why would I want to shift into soul consciousness? Deeper inside, most of us, if not all of us, would like to be peaceful. Deeper inside, most of us, if not all of us, would like to be happy, would like to experience love, would like to experience a certain harmony, even under provocation. Isn't it? Would you like to be always peaceful? Always happy? And generally, in ordinary, mundane consciousness, we can be happy. We can be peaceful if everything around us is exactly right. How often does that happen? So it would be useful to find a way to be peaceful, to have clarity of mind, to have clarity of thinking, clarity of decision making, to have a certain peace inside and a contentment regardless of external circumstances. And that is what is attainable more we cultivate spiritual awareness. And we will come to that in a few more moments. How can we do that? Today's topic is safe to be me. Anyone knew what topic was today? Or you came regardless of the topic? You just came anyway. The theme, the subtitle was how healthy relationships have their basis in self-awareness and self-respect. But these words are very high words, very big words. Self-respect, self-awareness, healthy relationships, even to understand the word itself uh, would be useful. But maybe we can start to begin with the word self. Who is this self? Who is me? Who am I? And what does it mean respecting the self, respecting me? When you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? This is a question. When you tell somebody else who you are, what do you say? Usually you just say your name. And I just said, my name is Rona. I did not even say where I'm from. But even if I did, what would that tell you about me? Nothing much. The other day I was in a conversation with someone and he says, what does your name mean? And before I could answer, he gave me whole explanation about what the meaning is of my name. Nothing to do with what I feel I am or who I am. And so this understanding of self is quite a big thing, but maybe even a confusing thing in these days. We don't even know truly, clearly, easily, who am I? And then I have to have respect for I, but I don't know properly even who is I. And if I am not clear about myself, true self, yes, I can know where was the body born. Okay, my case, the body was born in the Netherlands. But what does that say about me? These and these were my parents. Okay. Is that me? So it deserves a bit more clear understanding. This whole topic of me. And if I'm not fully clear about self, then how can I have quality of interactions, quality of relations with others? Is it possible? Not really, I think. So let's go over to the board to illustrate some things, maybe more helpful to understand. No, not that far. Okay. So, what would you use to describe if somebody asks you, who are you? Or if you ask yourself, who am I? How would you describe yourself? Hmm? My job? Okay. It's a bit funny. Could you? So, who am I? I would describe myself on the basis of my job. Let's say I'm a teacher or an engineer. But there was a time when I was not teacher. I was not engineer. But I was there So the job is at the very least insufficient description. And there might be a time when I'm not anymore working, when I'm not the engineer anymore or not the teacher anymore, but I will still be there. So to describe myself based on job is very insufficient. So any other way to gap that, to bridge that gap? Mhm. Your religion, your ethnicity, your age, who your parents are, your marital status. It's also it's also what we have learned, our education. Mhm. Anything else there? Your bank account. No, very good. The people, position, possession, your pennies. These are the things by which we generally describe ourselves. But I would say all of those things are still quite limited. What is it? Your bank account, the people around you, your relationships, your friends, your boss, your colleague, still quite limited because it does not necessarily explain or describe how you feel, how you respond, what you think of things, what your perspective is on things, what your attitude is about things, how you think. And one word that is used to describe us is the word human being. And this is actually a beautiful word. Human and being, two words. But these are words that are also not necessarily properly understood. The human part, the body, and the things around the body, the people, the position, the possession. What is this? Sorry, it's not drawn very systematically, very symmetrically. What is that? Your phone, and your Facebook account, and your Instagram account, your TikTok. Maybe your, what is it? Your website or your YouTube channel. No, and of course, job is there, people, friends, family, your possessions, maybe a house or an apartment, your nationality, your country, your religion, your hobbies. All of this uh, we can use to describe ourselves. But that is only the human part. The being is not visible. The being is not physical. The being is the one, sorry, it is a bit not symmetric today. We use the image of light to indicate the invisible experiencer, the being of consciousness, the one who creates the thoughts, the one who experiences this body, the one who interacts through the body with others. Now, for example, this mouth is moving, making sound, but the ideas that are spoken through the mouth, they do not belong to the mouth. They come from the being who is using the mouth to speak. So a broader perspective, a broader understanding of self is I am a being of consciousness using temporarily this physical body. The word that is used for this is soul or spirit. Soul in a body. Body is a physical vehicle of I, the soul. Now, to come to self-respect. And how will this help me to be harmonious in relationships? What is one basic quality, or maybe several, but some basic qualities to experience harmony in relationships? Or maybe don't even go to relationships. What is required for you to experience harmony in yourself, with yourself? Freedom, peace, acceptance. Very good. Acceptance of what? Of myself and others. Good. Anything else? What do you need or what do you feel is useful, required for you to feel harmony within yourself or with yourself? Trust in the self. Safe, secure. Very good. All these things are important. Now, how can we, for example, trust ourselves? How can I come to a state that I trust myself? A choice that you make. Even with others, maybe sometimes that is easier. What is required for you to trust others? Discernment. Discernment of what? Actions. Very good. Based on certain actions of them, you can trust them or don't not trust them. For example, if they tell truth, then you will trust. If you have seen regularly that they tell truth, if you see that they have your best interest at heart, then you trust. You can apply that to yourself. Do you tell truth all the time? No. Do you make it a point to find out truth? Do I act according to what I say, always. Now, sometimes people say beautiful things, but their actions are opposite. So you don't trust. So if you apply that to yourself, are your thoughts, your words, and your actions in line? If they are, much more chance you trust yourself. But if you know that that there is incoherency within yourself, you yourself don't trust yourself easily. What is it that they say? Walk the talk. Am I walking the talk? So it's very useful to realize, to trust the self, to respect the self. It depends also on my actions and on my behavior and quality of my behavior, quality of my actions. And if my actions are in line with how I think and how I feel and how I speak, there will be more reason for myself to trust myself and also to respect the self. What is required to feel safe, to feel secure? You had a certain sense of belonging. Everybody wants to, not everybody, but most people want to belong. No? Belong somewhere, belong to someone, belong to a certain group or a certain family or a certain place. This is required for me to feel, what is it? To feel in harmony, to feel at ease, to feel in peace with myself at the very least. So, do I have this place of belonging? Unshakable belonging? It's good to ask yourself. It's good to check if that is there. Now, what spiritual knowledge says, all of these things are not easy to experience at a physical level all the time. No, so say, for example, I feel peace or I feel safe when I am at home in my apartment or in my house. But do you feel safe also when you're on the subway and people coming in shouting, screaming, saying maybe all sorts of profanities? Do I still feel safe? Not necessarily. Because if we just look at it at this level, it is conditional. I feel safe under certain conditions. I feel at peace, at ease under certain conditions. Does it make sense? Let's take an example. Say this is This is, what's his name? John. And this is Susan. Let's see. And John and Susan are students in NYU. They have come to study. They are from somewhere else, not New York City, somewhere Midwest. They didn't know each other before. He has come to study engineering. She has come to study arts. So they're both excited, new life, new city, new phase in their life. Interesting. So Susan is very artistic and expressive and what is it? Likes color. So Susan, one day she paints her hair half red. John thinks that is cute. Interesting. The other day she paints her hair with green polka dots. Hmm. Her hairstyle doesn't affect John's mood. It doesn't affect his peace. It doesn't affect his kindness. He is still thinks interesting, creative, something new. They become friends over time. They begin to date over time. And after 3 years or so, they are married. And John finds a new job, his first job in some high profile engineering firm. And an introduction dinner is held for all the, what is it? All the people in the firm. And they are invited to come with their partners. And so it will be his first day meeting everybody. And so he is excited and he, of course, wants to go with Susan also. So to give him a special surprise, she shaves her head half bald, the other half purple, red dress. Will he still be peaceful and unshakable? And finding it cute? Hmm? You hope so? Maybe, but most likely not. He's dressed in his suit and tie and his special shoes, shaved, haircut short, and she comes in this flamboyant. Most probably, he will not be the embodiment of peace. Most probably, he will not be the embodiment of contentment and happiness because they are not going into an environment, most probably, where that will be not seen. Most probably, it will be seen as inappropriate. Now, what has happened between that moment and 3, 4 years before? When they started to study, he thought this is cute, interesting, nice, creative. Now, he most probably doesn't think like that. What has changed? Very good. There is now an expectation. Expectation. And probably not one, probably more expectations. And those expectations don't allow John to appreciate the way he may have appreciated before. Do you know another word for expectations?
Desire.
Desire, still another word. Requirement, still another word. Need, very good. Still another word.
Preference.
Preference, very good. Still another word. Demand, okay, very good. Still another word. Bondage, emotional bondage. Because deeper inside, what happens, John's mood is now dependent on what Susan does or not does. Means Susan is in charge of how he feels. That is a bondage. It is an invisible jail. She decides whether he is at peace. She decides whether he is happy or not. She decides whether he is content or not. And if she behaves outside of his expectations, he is upset or disturbed or discontent. That means she is boss over his emotions. I'm simplifying, putting it a bit straightforward to understand the dynamics. Another word for this is jail. The prison officer decides whether he makes the prisoner happy, give him chocolate or not. Now, Susan did not choose to be his boss. And he did not choose either, but he has given away the power over his emotional state by creating expectations. Can you see that? Can you see how that happened? The moment we create an expectation, someone or something is in charge to fulfill my expectation. And if it is fulfilled, I am peaceful. If it doesn't, I'm disturbed. Now, who has given away the power? I have given away the power. So if we are able to lower our expectations, we are in less bondage. If we are able to have zero expectations, we are in no bondage. Is it possible to lower our expectations? Yeah. More you are full inside, more you are self-aware, and more you are internally balanced and experiencing a fullness, less you expect from others. Again, simple example. Say you have many apples. The fridge is overflowing with apples, and few baskets on the counter full of apples. And in the backyard, there are few apple trees too. Apples, apples, apples. Will you go anywhere needing or expecting or desiring apples? No. Actually, you will go and bring and share and give out apples everywhere. Whoever comes, you will give apples. And whether they have or not have doesn't matter. Whether they give you or not give you, it will not make you feel any disturbed or feel that they are disrespecting you or not loving you. You don't need any apples. You have plenty. Mhm. So if we are internally full, we enter into interactions, exchange, relationships to give instead of to expect, to desire, to need, to want. The moment I'm creating expectations or desires, I am vulnerable. The moment I am full inside, I am in this world to give and to share. It's a very different positioning. You want to say anything or ask anything so far? Understand this Susan John dynamics? Now, we not only have one expectation in relationships, we often have many, many expectations in relationships. They should do this, they should not do that, they should say this, they should not say that, they should be there. We create in our mind an image and a picture and an idea of how someone should be. And if they are not that, I can be miserable all the time because they're not fulfilling what I am wanting or needing or expecting or desiring. And what we do then? We blame them. Why you don't do what I say? Why you like that? Why not so? You should be. It's your fault. This is what happens. The divorce rate, at last I checked, I was like horrified to see. And this is people who get married. We're not even talking about just partnerships and relationships, people who actually get married and the divorce. It is horrifying. Now, these are people who at one stage loved each other. Loved each other to the extent that they want to spend their lives together in one space, in one house, creating a family. They end up divorcing. And sometimes it's not even very long, 1 year later, 1.5 years later. Where has that love gone? It may still even be there, but it got buried underneath unfulfilled expectations. And then that becomes such a big thing that they say, what they call it? Let's call it quits. Let's finish it. Now, do we want to live like that? That is the question. Do we have to live like that? We don't. We don't. But for that, we need to explore our spiritual options. And this is why it is useful to come back to this awareness of self as a spiritual being, as a soul. And to shift the image that we carry of ourselves in our mind from just a physical human to a spiritual being temporarily using a physical vehicle. the physical part is temporary and it is changing. This physical world, everything here is temporary and it is changing. Can you see that? That's true. And it changes without asking your permission to change. Anything can happen anytime. So if we build our sense of peace or our sense of self-respect, of our sense of being safe and secure on things that are temporary, we will always be anxious. Now, say we bought a new car. One friend, this is a couple of years ago, he bought a Tesla. And at that time, it was like the super thing to do. At that time, was also very expensive. And some special model, this, what is it? The door opens upward. So he was very proud. New car and special in hip car, feeling very good. So he was in a certain place in the Catskill Mountains in our retreat center, and he parked his car in a certain place. And some boys were playing nearby the parking space with some ball and whatever. And the car got scratched. Was he still peaceful? And happy and proud? He lost his composure for 3 days over a scratch on the car. Just to give an example of how we can get dependent or attached to things that are temporary and changing, not very sensible. And then anything can be a threat for my peace. We can make ourselves very vulnerable by doing this. Not very useful. Spiritual knowledge says you are not any of this, and your value and your greatness and your beauty and your worthiness doesn't depend on any of this. You are a spiritual being, innately godlike in nature, a being with divine potential, a being with innate greatness, a being of soul, consciousness that transcends the limitations of the body. Body has a beginning and an end, but you, the soul, are timeless. In that awareness, all of this becomes extra game. I have come to play this extra game. I, the soul, using this body as a what is it, a tool? How do you call it? A bat to play the game of human life. This is an experience. I am the experiencer. So I shift that sense of self to invisible, timeless being of light, temporarily playing this game of human life. And scenes come and go. Things will change. But it doesn't diminish who I am as a soul. And everyone else is also a soul. So we can interact with each other with that perspective and that awareness and that vision. You are also a spiritual being, temporarily playing this part, the game of human life. Then anything extra, job is extra, for example. I use it, I do it, and I do it well to express my skills or my talents or to learn something. But it doesn't define who I am. If it's there is nice, if it's not there, I'm still there. It's extra gift. Interactions with others, every moment is a gift. Every smile is a gift. Every exchange, how do you call it? Eye contact is an extra gift. They don't have to keep looking at me all the time for me to be happy forever. It's an extra gift. I'm okay with myself. I'm happy with who I am as a being of light. You want to say anything? Ask anything?
And there's external expectations. And then when you meet those expectations,
They are sad. Yeah. Well, the question here is
stay in that relationship with sadness or anger because you're not meeting it.
yes. So someone here is asking, what if you are happy in yourself, with yourself, peaceful, but others around have expectations of you and they become sad or disturbed or unhappy because you don't fulfill their expectations. One way to look at that is deep inside, everyone needs or wants the same things. People want peace. Doesn't really matter what culture, religion, or nationality. People from all deeper inside, they just want to be loved. They want to love. They want to be happy. They want to be peaceful. Basic things are similar across borders, across cultures. So people who have expectations of me, it is because they want to be peaceful, or they want to be happy, or they want to be loving. So one way I could contribute is if my peace is so much, so strong, so powerful, that it radiates out and that it makes them peaceful too in my presence. So they might come with a certain expectation or a certain demand, but and I might not meet that demand. But my presence and my company is so peaceful that they are also both in peace. They still have to do something for themselves to keep that. But at least in my company, because I am so powerfully peaceful, this is where meditation comes in, to strengthen that inner fullness and inner wholeness. This is where a relationship with the Supreme comes in, the Supreme Soul, who is like an ocean of peace, an ocean of love, who is always so conscious. And I can align my mind, can tune in to the Supreme and emerge my own higher nature and make it strong. So that when I come in interaction with others, I can radiate that to others. Having said that, if I am influenced by others' demands, or expectations. It means I need to be stronger. I need to be more clear. Because if I'm influenced, that means somewhere I also still have some expectation of them. Or some what is it, emotional dependency. So it is interesting dynamics to observe, but it's always worthwhile to deepen my own awareness of self. Don't fall in the trap of John and Susan. Because people love, we all love and we want to love, but that love gets mixed with expectations, with attachments, with emotional dependencies, and then we get trapped. One time, someone told me, this was in the Caribbean, he said to me, "Oh, but Rona, I like it so much when my girlfriend tells me that she can't be without me." She will always tell me, "Oh, please don't go, please don't go." I feel so good when she tells me that she can't live without me. She doesn't want to be without me. And his ego gets a big boost, no? So after 6 months, he tells me, she suffocates me. She suffocates me. I don't have any freedom. I wish she would leave me alone. So initially, ego gets this big boost and feels good. Takes it as praise. But then the trap comes. Because expectations, desires are never fully fulfilled. Tonight he stays with her and watches television or plays with her. But tomorrow night again he has to do. And day after tomorrow again he has to do. And one day, 2 weeks he does, and one day he doesn't. What will she say? Where were you? I felt sad and lonely whole night. It becomes a jail. Understand dynamics? So make sure you always have plenty apples. Overflowing with apples. More you are overflowing, also less you are influenced by the fluctuations of others. And we can be examples for others if we do that. But this doesn't happen just like that. It requires a regular reflection. It requires moments of silence. It requires exploring the real self, the being of consciousness that you are, the soul, and not all of this. All of this we know, kind of. But begin to experience yourself as a timeless, immortal, innately divine being of consciousness. One who belongs to the Supreme and has the qualities of the Supreme. Not qualities, the same nature as the Supreme. And we have come here to play the game. We have to play with this perspective. and begin to see the result if I approach life like that. Anyone wants to say any final?
How does one schedule their life? I think there's been an expectation attached to scheduling a life. And at the same time detach from whatever doesn't exactly go correctly.
Yeah.
with regards to schedule.
Yeah, how do you schedule your life in a way? And I think for that we need to be very practical, very, very practical. And this is also why I love the approach of the Brahma Kumaris. There are lifestyle suggestions also. For example, I get up very early in the morning and I meditate, and this is not negotiable. I get up at 3:30. As soon as I'm ready, I go bathroom, shower, and brush my teeth, drink something. So at least by 4, I sit for meditation. 4 to 4:45, 4 to 5. And for me, this is not negotiable. Yeah, it's every day. Why? You have a phone, no? All of you, I'm sure you have a phone. What do you do non-negotiably with that phone every day? You charge it. Why? If you don't, it won't work. So my early morning meditation is charging my spiritual battery. And for me, that is sensible. For me, that is priority, because I want to go into the daily routine and the daily interactions and the daily activities with a charged battery. And a charged battery means a mind that is at ease and in peace, an intellect that has clarity. And for that, I need to charge in the morning. So my schedule begins with getting up early and sitting in meditation. There are several reasons why early morning. First of all, there's no one else awake. So that is a good time. Nobody will expect you to pick up the phone or answer your emails or your WhatsApp texts or whatever. Even if they have sent, they won't expect you to answer that at that time in the morning. It is quiet. The atmosphere is quiet. It's very easy to become more silent inside. Of course, you need to have a certain practice for that. And it is very easy also to connect your mind with the Supreme. So that is as if my date with God, I feel, in the morning. Now, to get up that time in the morning, the other part of the schedule is I have to go to bed on time. And on time means between 9 and 10. Otherwise, I can make it one night and 2 nights, maybe a week, but then I will collapse. So if my early morning meditation is priority for me, then it also becomes a priority to go to bed on time. Now, if by 9:30, I would like to be in bed, I would like to be...
You're over the limit. Yep.
I'd like to be writing my diary, my chart, my reflections, or do some meditation before I go to sleep. That means by 7, my computer should be off. My phone should be winding down. So it means also I eat earlier, between 5 and 6 is dinner. In the morning, after my meditation, I not only have to meditate, I also want to study some spiritual knowledge. And that also is part of charging my battery. So I also do that before working hours, before the day starts. So around 6, again, there is meditation, and the center has a morning class for advanced students who live a spiritual life and a spiritual lifestyle. And that is an hour of spiritual studies. So I already have told you my schedule of the morning and the evening. And then often we have these kinds of sessions in the evening or during the day. In between, you do, if you have a paid job, you go to your work. In my case, there are the activities of the center. There is groceries, cooking, all of that. But the aim for all of that is also to infuse spiritual wisdom in my daily activities. Now, if this is more or less my schedule, it also becomes easy to choose what to do and what not to do. This is Broadway is right here. Now, by the time I go to sleep, Broadway comes to life, no? But my choice is for me, my meditation and my relationship with the Supreme. If at all I would go to some play or some outing or whatever, it has to be during the daytime or over the weekend during the daytime. And you might say, but what about your friends? They go out at night. That's true. But they know that if they want to be with me, it has to be a daytime thing. So instead of late dinner at 9 or 10, they can come early dinner or lunch. Does it help? So your schedule is in the context of your priorities. Your daily routine is in the context of what is important for you. And for me, my spiritual life and my spiritual battery is important. And even this type of sessions is also for me. I'm the first one who learns. I'm the first one who has insights. So this also charges my battery. And hopefully it helps you too. Okay. But be very practical, fix time for things that are important for you. And make certain things we should make non-negotiable. Just like brushing your teeth. You don't say, oh, I will brush my teeth if there is time or if I feel like it. It's just something you do because you know the benefit. And you know what will happen if you don't brush your teeth.
I was just thinking about outside like life happenings that kind of.
Life happens. Oh.
Like a
Ah.
disaster or something. Of course, I think that becomes about perfection.
Yeah. If life situations throw you off schedule, if really something happens that you really cannot, you don't, but your schedule is in your mind. So as soon as things allow, you fall back into your schedule. Now, sometimes when I travel, you travel long distances, hour changes, your body clock is in a different, then it may happen that the 4 o'clock meditation is not always the best or not possible. But as soon as things are back in some normalized time zone, then 4 o'clock begins again. Okay. Okay, I know Anita is watching, checking if I make the announcements also.
Yes, we are over the time limit also, so I'll quickly share the upcoming events. So you may not be able to see me, but if you're hearing me, that's good enough. So we are already at the end of June, so July is all around the corner. So in July, we have, every Thursday, of course, we have these talks. But besides that, we have 3 special events. July 9th, we are starting a 7-day meditation course, Reviving the Higher Self. This time, we are trying a different schedule. So we are doing only 2 or 3 sessions per week, so there are gaps. So it's starting on July 9th and it's ending, I think, July 21st or 23rd. Don't quote me on that. July 12th, we have a mini retreat at the center. It's only in person. The topic for that is free yourself from emotional clutter through forgiveness. So I think today you can count it as the first step towards that, and to make further progress, make a note and join us for the mini retreat on July 12th. And it's for 4 hours. So you will get enough time to churn, practice, discuss, and take benefit. July 19th, we have a workshop. The title is The Inner Compass, Navigate Life Through Stillness. I know there's a lot of details, but if you visit our website, you will find rest of the things available. And if you need to register for some of the events, all the links are provided. So before we finish today's session, just last sharing from my side, what Sister Rona shared her schedule, right? Although she said lives at the center, I am at home. I am a mom with 3 children and run a household and all. But I also follow the same schedule. No matter what time others are getting up, I get up early in the morning. And I try to stick to that schedule. And the benefit is, and it's not really very difficult once you get used to it, before the household starts waking up, right? Most of my work is already done. I feel it's the most productive way to have a discipline in the life. Just wanted to share that it's possible, even with the household people with full-time jobs and moms and whatnot. Thank you for joining us. Sister Anna, anything else?
Thanks very much, Anita. Thanks very much, Anita. This was very useful to share. I know discipline is a dirty world today, a dirty word today. People don't like that word. But routine and a proper schedule is a sign of self-respect. It gives you structure and it gives you freedom. And it gives you clarity in your head.
Discipline is the highest form of self-respect.
Yeah.
So, it starts with us.
Okay. So let's close with a minute of silence because time is running. Thank you. And have a good evening. And maybe we will meet again.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next Thursday again.